Hello and welcome to the first game I played at the Hauptstadt Legionäre Warhammer tournament here in Berlin. The game is against a Skaven army, and I didn't play against a Skaven army since 4th edition, so this might be 10 years, 12 years, I have no idea. But I just wanted to say I had no clue what was awaiting me. I've read the book, but yeah, it's between reading the book and playing the army, there's a big gap. And yeah, I was going to fill that. The army was very interesting, as you will see in a moment. But first I will show you how I deploy it. I deployed heavily on the left flank, and starting from the left, there I have my Dragon Princes, a repeatable throw on the hill, 30 Spear Elves with my level 4 and the BSB, 15 White Lions with a General, 11 Phoenix Guard, another repeatable thrower, and 20 Archers with full command, and my Phoenix, or Red Eagle, however you want to call him. The Skaven army, a ton of models, and starting from the left, 8 Poison Wind Globadiers, 25 Clanrats with Lord level character, Warlock Engineer, and a Warpfire Thrower. Then a big giant block of 87, yes, 87 Skaven Slaves, Warp Lightning Cannon, another block of 25 Clanrats with a Greyseer, 2 Warlock Engineers, and another Warpfire Thrower. Maybe there was the BSB in as well, but I'm not sure. He might have been in the other unit of Skaven Slaves next to the Warp Lightning Cannon, the one in the back, which is another unit of 25 Clanrats with either BSB with him or not. I think he was in there. In the BSB he had the Storm Banner with him. Then there is another unit of 87 Skaven Slaves and the Doom Wheel. The Skaven player won the roll for the first turn and quickly reformed his Skaven slaves, so he had 2 long lines of nearly unbreakable slaves because he had the BSB and the leadership bubble from the general, which was his Greyseer, if I didn't mention it. He shot the Warp Lightning Cannon and magicked me, but he didn't do any significant damage. In High Elves turn 1, the first thing he did was he activated the Storm Banner. Okay. And to counter that, in my magic phase, I decided to go with the Arrow Attraction on his unit of Clanrats with his Lord level combat character. And instead of doing the Flames of the Phoenix, which I wanted to reserve for later in that turn. But as you might guess from the long story I made out of this, after I got off the Arrow Attraction, and I want to mention it again, not Flames of the Phoenix onto the Skaven Slaves, which would have been so much fun, he let it through and then used that damn Frog Scroll. And yes, you guessed right, he frogged me. No, not me, but the level 4. So not only did the magic phase end, but now the Spear Elves have hit the frog with them. This means they can only move 1 inch and march 2 inches. And this is bad news. The small revenge I got, I killed 8 Clanrats, or 7, I can't remember, but given the 2 repeatable throwers and the 20 archers I shot at them, this is not too much, thanks to the Storm Banner. During Skaven turn 2, he moved his Lord to the unit of Skaven Slaves. In the process, his Clanrats fell from the movement tray, so they are still there, just the models fell off. And he moved up, as you can see. The Doom Wheel killed the Eagle with a lightning bolt. And between magic and the Doom Rocket, especially the last one, the White Lions died like flies. Made their panic test, but what you can see here is all that was left of them after the first after the second Skaven turn. Not seen any combats whatsoever. During High Elves turn 2, I reformed the archers to have something to deal with the Doom Wheel, and marched the Phoenix Guard up to have a new bunker for my Prince General, and the White Lions went on a mission of whatever. Instead of conserving points, I marched them up to just get some kind of revenge from the Wind Globadiers or from someone. At this point, I just was like, "Rawr!" Yeah. I should have, to complete this, I should have marched the Dragon Princes up, which would have been useful, but I didn't think of it at that time. I was too afraid from the Wind Globadiers. This is the only picture I have from Skaven turn 3, but I will tell you what happened. The Doom Wheel tried to charge the repeatable thrower but didn't succeed, and he marched the Skaven slaves up, so we had this big block of slaves between my units and all that was precious to him. Yeah, good idea, not too good for me. During Magic, he killed 17 archers with, I think, 1 or 2 spells. One of them was the Lightning Bolt, I think, and the other was some kind of spell where every model in the unit gets a strength 4 hit, and this is not good for the archers. Yeah, the archers passed the panic test, and then in the shooting phase, the Doom Wheel killed the repeatable throw with the Lightning Bolt, which made the archers run for their lives, because this time they didn't pass the panic test. It even got worse when in High Elves turn 3 I decided that the spearmen couldn't march only 2 inches, because somehow I have to achieve something with them. And on the other hand, I didn't want to move the wizard out or the frog out of the unit so that they could move their full distance. And so I decided, okay, I will be clever, and I charged the clan rats, because it was a distance of 11 inches or something like that. I figured, okay, I won't make it, and I will get the distance of the highest dice roll. Of course, I rolled an 11 or a 10 and made it into combat, so my only hope was that during my magic phase the wizard unfrogs himself. And because this happened, I decided, okay, then I can go all in, and I charged everything else, which is the Dragon Princess and the Phoenix Guard, into the big unit of Skaven slaves. This is how it looked before combat, and this is how it looked after. Of course, during the magic phase, the wizard didn't unfrog, so the magic phase was gone, and during close combat, he killed the wizard with, don't know, kicked him back into my half or whatever. Yeah, the Spear Elves took revenge, at least by killing a lot of clan rats, but after those broke and ran for their filthy lives, only a measly 4 inches, I managed to roll a 3 for the pursue move, and this was great, especially with that warp fire thrower standing there. But okay, sometimes games go like this, and in the main combat in the middle, a lot of slaves die and 1 Phoenix Guard, but because the slaves are steadfast and the warlord is leading them from the back, they stay. In Skaven turn 4, the Doom Wheel charges the archers, the clan rat rally, the Doom Wheel wipes the archers out. During magic, he threw a lot of lightning and other nasty stuff into the big combat in the middle, kills a lot of slaves and 2 Phoenix Guard. During close combat, a lot of slaves and no elves die. But they hold. This picture is from Skaven turn 5 after movement. But yeah, I forgot to take pictures in High Elves turn 4. What happened was this: the Spear Elves charged the archers again. They beat them in combat and run them down, but again didn't roll very high, and so didn't make it into the other unit of clan rats. and standing between two warp fire throwers now. Yeah, this would... well, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, I have no magic phase. During shooting, I tried to kill the Doom Wheel, but nothing happened. And in close combat, a lot of slaves die, and yeah, 2 more Phoenix Guard. In Skaven turn 5, he reforms the big block of slaves and evacuates his spellcasters into that unit, because it was predictable that after another round of close combat, the Dragon Princes wouldn't be in combat with the small block of slaves, and so would have been able to charge the unit of clan rats and kill some of the casters. In his magic phase, he didn't achieve too much. I think killed some slaves. During his shooting phase, he unleashed hell onto my spear elves, and he rolled really low with the artillery dice, and the result was 17 or 15 dead spear elves. Luckily, again, I made the panic test. During High Elves turn 5, the repeater bolt thrower shot at the Doom Wheel, wounded it once, and made it scatter. So I was sure not to lose the bolt thrower to some lightning bolt or to a charge from the Doom Wheel. Then I think we made a mistake, but again, I have no photos, just a result photo, and I will tell you what happened. The Dragon Princes, who weren't in combat with the slaves anymore, declared a charge into one of the warp fire throwers, who fled and got away. The Dragon Princes redirected into the unit of clan rats with the BSB, who fled as well, and this resulted in a failed charge. Then I declared a charge into the fleeing unit of clan rats, and it fled again. And I'm not sure if this was correct. I think it should have had no effect. I think they should have only fled once. But we agreed that this was the way it should be, and so the clan rats with the BSB flew off the board, and the spear elves with my BSB pursued them off the board, so they were safe, which was really, really a big help, because there was no possibility he could kill them in his turn 6, and they would come back on the board on my turn 6. This is an overview after High Elves turn 5. And this is how it looked like in Skaven turn 6 after movement. In his magic phase, he targeted the dreaded 13th spell at my Phoenix Guard and got it off, wiped them out, replaced them with clan rats. So General and Phoenix Guard's points gone in the last turn. Not so good. During his shooting phase, the Wind Globadiers killed 3 Dragon Princes, but the remaining 2 made their test, and in High Elves turn 6 charged a flamethrower and killed it. So this was the end of the game. It was 15-5 in tournament points, so a massive victory to the Skaven. Oh, yeah. I started to feel that my list wasn't the best, and yeah, it was just after turn 2 or so, it started to be a really fun game, because it was just absurd things happening left and right, and it had a good feel of a nasty swarm of rotten Skaven with dirty tricks up their sleeves and massive amounts of rats against elite high elf army with a bad general and bad luck who marched to their doom and died. Yeah. So I hope to see you in the next game.